Hi, I'm Damien MacDonald from Dublin, Ireland, and I play at Roganstown Country Club in North County, Dublin. Welcome to Golf Smarter episode number
993.
I have been saying I wish we would mic the golf bags on tour. How many times you could flip that thing on and listen to a caddy talk to the player, what was going on and how it was going on. And at Augusta, you can watch every shot of every player online. I don't know what that technology costs. I don't know if because it's played at the same place every year it's easier. But can you imagine being able to watch a golfer, listen to him and his caddy talk? I pay to listen to NASCAR. I don't watch much NASCAR anymore, but I will listen to a race because I can hear the driver and the crew chief talking. And that's really exciting to me, listen to what's going on. How many people would pay $3.99 or $5.99 a month to be able to watch their favorite player? I would. I mean, that's what I do with the Masters. If I'm watching online, I'm watching my guys play.
Atlanta wins TGL, and we go inside the celebration ropes with Lucas Glover's agent, Mac Barnhardt.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Greene.
Welcome back to the Golf Smarter podcast, Mac.
Thanks, Fred. Great to be here, buddy.
Well, we were on a couple weeks ago. We had a blast, but I was watching TV the other night, watching the TGL finals.
Yep.
And looking into the owner's box of Atlanta, and there's Lucas Glover. Wait a minute, sitting next to Lucas is Mac. Mac, I'm waving at you. I'm screaming. My son is in town. We're sitting there watching it. I'm like, there's Mac. Look. I backed it up. I show him Mac. And so, first of all, congratulations on being part of the championship team. The Atlanta team wins TGL for the inaugural year.
Really cool. Yep.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's brand new to me. I mean, I played a wooden driver for a long time. I get it. This is a new concept, but I think it'll catch on. I mean, if you come to the event, and it's hard not to get wrapped up into the excitement. And, it was fun watching Lucas cheer everybody on, his teammates, and we got the set with Mr. Blank, who owns the team and who's just a wonderful guy. And, and obviously winning. And then he had a whole really post-match celebration like you would if any other championship team, if his Falcons win the Super Bowl. I'm sure it'll be like that. But it was really cool. It was really neat and the really neat thing is look, all your friends and family, they're welcome to come. Please bring them in. And they gave out T-shirts and hats, and it was pretty special. Really
I'm still sporting my Bay Club team.
I understand.
And I'm wearing my windbreaker here. And I'm sorry that they didn't, they had such a fast start and they're looking so good. I'm like, we're going to make the playoffs. And then it just kind of fell apart.
I'll tell you.
But Atlanta was just the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, Lucas probably statistically is playing better than any of the other teammates. I don't think anybody had a chance with those four guys. They could have just thrown their names in a hat, and they're all playing really good golf, and they're all excited about it, and they're passionate about it. And so I don't know if that's why they won. I mean, obviously it's golf, but you can see the excitement in it, and people think, how much money they won. None of them were thinking that. They want to beat you. They want to win, and that's fun to watch.
The purse wasn't bad. I mean, I know they're splitting it as a team. Hopefully they're splitting it evenly as a team, all four of them. But still, it was a healthy purse.
Oh my goodness!
$9 million to the winner, right?
Woo! Yep. I think that's what they say. It's a pretty nice week.
But I want to know, what was the buzz in the building while that championship match was happening? The final championship match on Tuesday.
I mean, it was real. I mean, it was.
You've been doing enough sporting events to be able to gauge.
Absolutely. It's hard to, yes, the people there are really having a good time and they're into it, and the players are into it. They're not kidding around. I mean, they're competitive, and Lucas is kind of yelling at Billy Horschel about stuff. It's like what you would see in a team concept. And I tell people, if you go back and look at the Ryder Cup from the 1980s, go watch film, of the 1980s Ryder Cup. They weren't sold out. There wasn't those massive crowds until 1991 and the what do they call it, the War by the Sea or something like that. In 91, that's what kicked it off. And what's going to be the thing that kicks TGL off? There will be something, a watershed moment that people really will pay attention and they'll come running in. The thing I like about it is I think with the absence of Tiger on tour, we've lost a lot of the sports fans that watched golf.
Right.
Tiger brought in the sports fans, and I think it's important that we earn our golf fans back. I think a lot of golf fans have been turned off by some things in the past few years, and so we've got to we've got to get these golf fans back involved. And I think this may actually is seeing all the baseball players and stuff there that night. The other sports stars. This may bring the other sports fans back into the game, which may then push them to watch, other pro golf events, right? And that's what I hope. But I think we've got to earn. I think we've got to earn a lot of the golf fans back into this game as well. It's just been so much talk about money, and it's just in our business, it's never talked about. There is a moment that money comes in, but you don't hear that ever about that putt was worth. I think Lucas made a putt to finish third, and the players and people are telling me how much that putt meant. I mean, Lucas didn't know. He didn't. He'll find out later, but that wasn't the point. And everybody needs to understand these guys are not playing the game for money.
Right.
I mean, they do earn a living doing it, but that's not what they're playing to compete and beat people. It's always been the crux, and we just need to quit talking about the money and let these sports fans know that these guys would play for nothing. They don't, but they want to compete. So, but I was super excited.
You could see the energy. Billy Horschel was obvious, and it was so exciting. And you were part of that winning team. I mean, being associated with Lucas. I mean, you didn't get to pick up a putter, or luckily you didn't have to hit out. Yeah. You didn't have to hit out one of those bunkers.
Thank God. Yeah, they didn't want me doing that.
But it has to be exciting to be part of the inaugural winning team. Even loosely associated.
Yeah, loosely associated. Obviously,
I feel loosely associated just by our conversations.
I mean, you can't repeat it. I've known Mr. Blanks for 30 some years. Just an incredible man. To be somewhat associated with him winning a championship, is you don't get those chances much in life, and I feel honored to be a part of it. I was on TV too much because of the hundreds of texts I got telling me, calling me ugly and what am I, all that stuff. And I tell them, I said, a camera adds 10 pounds. And unfortunately they had 3 cameras on me the whole time. So, but yeah, it was fun. I try not to be a part of the show. That was assigned seating. I didn't have a choice. That's where my name tag was. And I sat there. I knew I would be seen. I had one of our buddies, Dr. David Murphy, one of our team surgeons, and he was there. And I told him, I said, "No, look, forewarned, don't pick your nose, don't do anything silly because they're going to see you." So, I hope I didn't, but
no. Well, thank you for explaining why I sent you a text the following morning and didn't hear from you for 24 hours, which is unlike you at all.
It is. Yeah, it was.
But I'm sure that you being on TV like that, you're going to get a lot of people reaching out.
Just, most of them were really fun. And, the stuff they were telling me was quite funny. And I mean, it's friends. I mean, I get it. And, I don't try to ever be part of this show. I try to stay away from that stuff if I can. I like behind the scenes. But it was fun to be with Lucas and experience with him because, he was really pumped. And
tell me about that. How is Lucas doing watching it? You're talking about these guys want to play. They want to compete.
I'm not going to lie to you. He did not want to be, I don't want to say the proverbial bench. He did not. He wanted to play. And obviously these are competitive men. These are not people out there. They're showing off. This is what they do. They compete. And so there's no question disappointed, but you can't argue with the fact that they won the championship. And whoever put the team out there may have known something that we didn't know. I feel like Lucas would have been, I think they'd have won no matter what. I just think they're that much better than the other teams. But disappointed, but not in a way of screw it. And he's like, no, I'll be there. I'm going to support my team. I believe it. And if they need me, I'm ready to go. And he would have been ready to go if they'd lost that first match. I believe he'd been pulled in. But thank goodness we didn't need it.
One of the things that I loved about watching TGL is that it was more personality golf than you'll ever see on the PGA Tour because everybody's on their own island when they're playing on tour, competing against one another. But watching them and listening to them, right, having every guy mic'd and being part of a team just to me, it just sucked you in. It brought you in, and I kept trying to bug my friends. You got to watch this. You got to watch this.
Yeah.
And I hope to watch the last one because they really did save the best for last. That game, that match. I said I was watching it with my son, and I said, as we were getting into the 14th hole there, and we were tied, and it was like super close, and the hammer wasn't working, whatnot. It felt more like a baseball game, a playoff baseball game, than it did almost any other sport. I mean, look at the score: 4-4, 5-5, 5-4. That kind of scoring, and little nuanced things happened that worked, that didn't work. That felt like championship baseball, unlike any other sport.
And you're talking about the hammer, because Lucas is like talking to him when they would come back over. They're like talking about, they had little hand signals for the hammer. You could see him and I think Patrick Cantley may be he may be the real expert at the hammer. If not, Lucas and him probably. But yeah, I mean, it adds a whole new element. And look, we've watched Ryder Cup. We see what team golf looks like. We see these guys come alive in team golf. And, I'm going to say the dirty word and LIV, and I'm being funny. I love LIV. LIV Golf is team event, and I've been a part of that through Andy Ogletree. And you're right. You see these guys have that team atmosphere is awesome. And that's what I kept saying earlier is what is wrong with some team golf? Let's throw some team golf in this thing. And both the PGA Tour and LIV should be able to live together and combine some of that stuff. It'd be awesome. It'd be cool if they'd have a LIV team show up. What if they'd have had a LIV team show up? So, next week, now they got to play these guys. I mean, let's integrate these guys back in, and maybe TGL will give us that opportunity.
Well, you brought it up. I was going to, but since you already brought it up, this seemed to work.
Yep.
TGL seemed to work. It was a great TV event. It was a made-for-TV event, and as Barney Adams has said to us before, hey, the PGA Tour is a television show, right? And this was designed to be a 2-hour TV show with competition. So it's like on an off sports night, you get to watch some sports. But so I have to think that they're walking away from the end of this season, TGL and Tomorrow Sports, walk away thinking this worked. We succeeded.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why did TGL work versus LIV? Doesn't seem to have worked. I've never cared to watch a LIV event. What do you from your seat? What do you think is the difference, or why one works?
Well,
and one
there was
doesn't?
a lot of negative energy thrown toward it. To try to lead people from not watching it, I believe. Obviously, I think there was organizations that did not want LIV to succeed.
Sure.
And I think that there's a lot of negatives. Second thing is I think they finally got to deal with Fox TV, the Fox networks, and now there's going to be more exposure. It'll be easier to watch. I think some people had some difficulty finding the CW or whatever league. I think some of that. It's new. It's and again, it's just there's a lot of people on this island that they're either anti-LIV or pro-LIV, and it's the most ridiculous thing. It's from my point of view, it's golf. There aren't enough golf opportunities for all the talent out there now, much less trying to limit another option. I think there's room for several more tours, and that much talent is out there. So whether LIV works or not, I think it's golf is a slow-moving game. It took a long time for people to quit wearing leather-bottomed shoes. I mean, you saw it forever. They're not giving away the FootJoy Classics and steel spikes. You remember that? It just metal drivers. It takes people time, but once they lock into it, then it's fun. And I go back to the Ryder Cup. After '91, the Ryder Cup became a sold-out event. They're selling $650 a ticket in New York for a day, and they're selling them faster than they can print them. And it took a long time for that competition to catch the eyes of the public. And I think that's the same thing for TGL, and I think it'll be the same thing for LIV. I mean, there's an incredible amount of talent playing LIV. And like them or not, or whatever all the reasons, it's competitive golf. And I'm going next week to Miami for Andy Ogletree to be there. And it's just as competitive. It's no different. These guys are not They're not playing for money. They're earning money to play, but that's not what they're playing for. They play to compete. These guys are competitive people. And I think that's where we need to get away from. I mean, a lot of people with inflation are having a hard time feeding their families and just continuing to hear about these obscenes about some money. And I think it wears on you. I think we mentioned this one time. Derek Jeter was making, $60 million a year, but they didn't announce his salary every time he hit a home run. I mean, it was like they talked about it earlier in the year, and then it was over. Now he's playing baseball. And I think that's what we should do with golf. I mean, yeah, there's money involved in it, but let's just get back to these guys they want to win. I mean, it wasn't about Lucas is going to get paid whether or not he played or not, but he wanted to play, right? I mean, that's what, and I think that's why they probably won is those guys all wanted to play. They weren't just, I mean, I was really shocked that Tiger and Roy didn't show up for the finals. And if they were there, I didn't see them, but I thought they would kind of come out, maybe stand with Mr. Blank. And yeah, I thought that would be it. And I don't know if it's because they weren't playing and they didn't feel it, but I thought there would be a lot more support
all the teams
from the
should have been there.
I thought there'd be a lot. I mean, most of those guys live 10 minutes from there. I thought there'd be a lot more support to come in and support the league because it's important for it to succeed. Yeah. And I think Tiger and Rory and I think Matthew Fitzpatrick was there. I didn't run into him, but who was, didn't play for their team. I think it was Case.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he was there.
Okay, good. I didn't see him, but
he was on TV a bunch.
I just thought that. I mean, this thing working is good for everybody in golf. And everybody that could have been there on a Tuesday night didn't have anything to do. And it's fun. They had free drinks and food. I mean, what more do you want? And I thought that it might be a bunch of tour players hanging out, come over and celebrate. When Davis's team won the Ryder Cup in 2016, somewhere during the celebration party, all the European team came over and hung out with the American team and had drinks. And Darren Clark did a wonderful toast to the American team. And that's kind of what I thought would happen. I thought that we'd all come together. They won, but here we all are. And this is great for golf. And I kind of made me squeamish a little bit to think that even Tiger and Rory wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. One of the early conversations that we had in talking about LIV, you made the comment about that the teams should have been regional as opposed to just random names because then it makes makes it easier, A, for merchandising, but B, for people to latch onto it. Like here I am wearing clothes from the Bay team. I think that really worked for TGL, having the teams being regional. I mean, I got the new Lab Golf putter, the one designed by Adam Scott, and I didn't realize that I got it in green, and he's playing for Boston. So it was like, oh, this is perfect. I got the Adam Scott putter in green because he's playing for Boston on TGL, but that's not what the case was.
Well, like I said, I'm trying not to criticize. I have my own ideas, and I've told somebody I may be dead wrong, but I only have the ideas based on 34 years in this business. And I think regional teams would have been an amazing thing. I've made the suggestion, and again, I trust what they're doing. They're good guys, they're smart guys too. Why not have 6 players on the team, like TGL, so that every player doesn't necessarily have to play every event. If TGL wants if LIV wants 14 events, and you could have, let's pretend that we have an Irish team, the Ireland team from Ireland,
right? And
you got Rory and Shane, and you don't have to be from Ireland, but some aspects of it.
Yeah,
but if they had 6, then Rory could play 4 team events a year, and still play his major schedule, and then play his other tour schedule and his other DP World Tour schedule, and not overplay. But the team would get the same amount of exposure because you'd still be. I wonder if they, at a Dare Manor, if they had a LIV event and Shane and Rory were on the team, how many people would show up in jerseys, kind of like going to the Super Bowl and seeing the Eagles and the whoever they played, Chiefs jerseys. Sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. They just keep winning. It's all right.
But it's like the licensing opportunities and merchandising and if you had a team from Texas and a team from here, Frederica, or to where people could latch onto it, want to wear the jerseys proudly, the licensing merchandise. That's what it would have meant to me. And I think if, like TGL, they had more players than played, they could space their players out and not, create a situation where a guy would have to play 30 times a year to play.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my idea. I could be dead wrong there.
But with the regional teams that TGL created, now you have incredible room for expansion.
Right.
Right? Because what happened to Texas? We need a Texas team.
There's some good golfers down there in Texas, I hear. They may have a team.
Man.
I don't know.
And we've got the 2 California teams. Okay, that was good.
Right.
But there's so many different regions that should be represented and could be represented. And clearly the players don't have to come from that area.
No,
I mean, the Bay team was like all foreign players practically, which is great. I don't care because my San Francisco Giants, I don't know how many of those guys ever grew up and played in San Francisco growing up, right?
It's so rare that someone from Atlanta actually plays for the Atlanta Braves, but nobody cares. You still buy a Braves hat and you go support the team. And then, I agree with you. Like I say, all this is so new, is that it's going to take time for the public to find things, and they'll all kind of tweak it as they go to make it better and better, which is like any product, right? I mean, the first iPhone is not as good as this iPhone. So I think they'll tweak it and get it better. And Mike McCarley, who, it's his baby, super smart guy, and, kudos for him what he did, but I think he'll make it better. I think they'll figure things out, and it'll just continue to tweak it. And like I say, everything. I'm pro professional golf. The more opportunities, the better. And so that's what I hope we can finally get to.
In addition to adding new regional teams, now the door is wide open for teams that are and TGL seasons to expand to, as we've discussed, co-ed teams. Why not?
Could be.
Could have a LIV team. Why not? Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you want to bring some of those top names in. You want to bring the personalities. Bryson would be a blast to watch there.
Correct.
I think. So now I'm sure ESPN is ecstatic, but now they have this huge void. They only had a couple weeks of TGL. Why not do this? Okay, next season, which starts next month. Right, exactly. We're going to do the LPGA on TGL, and we're going to do, Pro-Am. I don't know. You can audition to play TGL, but I think there's so much room for additional seasons, not just once a year.
Yeah, it could be. Like I say, I'm probably not. It's out of my pay grade to figure out exactly how much or what to do. We talk about Texas. Can you imagine Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth and Bryson DeChambeau all live in Texas? They show up, and then now you got a whole different deal. And again, something's got to bring unity to this game again, and maybe TGL can play that part of it. That we can kind of get past all this mess we've been through the last 4 years. And let's get back to, we got the Masters in a couple of weeks, and you're going to see all the best players in the world there. Not all of them. There'll be some best players that won't make it for some reason. But as a rule, you're going to see the first golf tournament with those players back together. And I think we're going to all find that that's what the golf world wants to see. And we're going to have to figure it out. I don't know the road back, but that's what we're going to have to get to.
Yeah. Something's got to get interesting about it. So I have a suggestion. You're the closest person to all of this. I have a suggestion that I thought was missing in the production of TGL. And it's real simple. And it has to do with hitting into the enormous screen. 63 feet high. It's gigantic, 35 yards away. It's hard to know. I think that there should be a sound effect for when the ball hits the screen that takes the ball from reality to virtual, to real to virtual, right? So it's just like when the ball hits the screen, it's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I've hit the screen. So we know how long it took for the ball to get from the player to the screen. Right. And then possibly even some sort of dot or some image of where the ball hit the screen.
Like
so
almost
like if they're doing a high lob
like
shot,
a star burst right where it hits or something.
Something subtle. It doesn't have to be big, and it shouldn't be. It should be subtle, but it's just like, oh, okay, that's where it is. Like if they have to hit this 75-yard shot, and they hit it all the way to the top of the screen versus hitting hitting out of their little sand into the screen from 35 yards away, but they hit it low and it just made it over the lip there. Right. Something that gives you a sense of where it is, that takes you from reality to the virtual part of it.
I'll pass it along, and if it's a good idea, you get the credit. If it's a bad idea, they'll tell me another one of my bad ideas. But yeah, I don't think. Look, I don't think they're. Credit for it. I think they would. I mean, like I said, I think they will do things to make it better and better. I mean, I'm sure they will. I mean,
they adjusted on the fly. Yeah, I mean, look what they did to the hammer. They changed the rules of the hammer almost immediately, and it was incredibly effective.
Much better, no question. It was much better, and that was a huge part. I don't know we'll ever see, a live golf event with the hammer being thrown, but I mean, it'd be kind of cool to watch it. I mean, that changed a lot of dynamics, buddy. Because I mean, when that hammer's thrown, it changes their whole. Now, it changes everything in a hurry. There used to be a game called Woof that everybody played. It was kind of like that. It was not that pressure 5-footer until they woofed it. You either pick it up and whatever. But yeah, I can say I personally, obviously, for what they started out to do when the concept was there, and of course they had the building collapse last year, so they were delayed a year. Yeah. And I was with Mike McCarley and actually Mr. Blanks when that happened, and it was taken as okay. Well, that's okay. We'll be ready to go next year. We'll be better prepared, and everything works out for the best type of thing. But nobody knew what it was going to be like. Nobody how it was going to come across on TV it was a little bit more like hockey to me. Being live was different than watching it on TV. A lot more exciting because you can see it happening a little better because you can watch it. You can watch the reaction of the ball and the player at the same time, which you can on TV. You can see if the player likes it or not. Yeah. But all those things I think are, they're mic'd. I've been a big proponent. Yeah. And again, I have been for a long time saying, I wish we would mic the golf bags on tour, and how many times you could flip that thing on and listen to a caddy talk to the player and what was going on and how it was going on. And then at Augusta, you can watch every shot of every player online. I can watch Lucas hit every shot. Right. I don't know what that technology cost. I don't know if because it's played at the same place every year, it's easier. But can you imagine being able to watch a golfer? You want to watch Lucas Glover? I pay $3.99 a month to be able to watch him play every shot he wants to play. Listen to him and his caddy talk. Get into the game. I still listen. I pay to listen to NASCAR. I don't watch much NASCAR anymore. I don't have the time. But I will listen to a race because I can hear the driver and the crew chief talking, and that's really exciting to me. Listen to what's going on, and I don't know how many people 5 million people that have the PGA Tour out. How many people would pay $3.99 or $5.99 a month to be able to watch their favorite player? And you can watch it. I would. I mean, that's what I do with the Masters. If I'm watching online, I'm watching my guys play. I mean, I want to see what they're doing. It's kind of fun, but to be able to hear them talking. Understand what they're going through when they're on number 12, trying to figure out the wind. We had Lucas. Lucas was, he's really close to the lead at the Players on Saturday, and on number 17, I got he hit it in the water. I don't know if you know this. He hit it short and hit back in the water. But after the round, I got to talk to the caddy, and I said, "Hey, what was going on there?" And he goes, "Well, we only had about a 5 or 6 foot place to hit it without hitting it in the water. If you hit it on the top shelf, that's going over the water." As the kid that playing Will Zalatoris, I think it was, hit it on top of the shelf. It went long. Lucas went short. And I'm like, what was going on? He said, well, we knew our max was a 56. We knew this, and we hit it. Lucas hit it perfect. And that was the whole thing. And then I said, well, look at the shot link. What happened? And his apex of the flight was 81 feet. And it didn't get above the grandstands behind him to feel the wind. So it never got to feel the wind. And I mean, that sounds kooky, but that's, to the caddy, and then we're worried. Lucas had that 116 to 120 shot that he had to hit downwind. That's a 56. This is what we're going to do. And he hit it, and it comes up short. Turns out if it had been 9 feet higher, it would have probably landed on the right spot. But those grandstands blocked the wind. Now, excuses, but I'm saying, but that's fun stuff to know. I mean, you're going,
absolutely.
I'm watching the stats of that. How cool would it have been to pop up and that stat show that his ball apexed at 81 feet and it actually didn't catch the wind that they were seeing on the green. And that to me is fun stuff. He didn't miss it. He didn't. And then Will Zalatoris hits it, 15 more feet or yards, and his goes in the water over. So there was just, the greens were firm. There was just so little room for error. And what we also did is went and found one of the best shots hit that day. I think it was a kid, Davis Thompson, and he hit the same club a couple mile an hour faster than Lucas, but he hit it 14 feet higher, and he hit it 10 feet. Mm-hmm. And so we can go find the best shot. What were the perfect parameters of that to hit that shot? And those are things that are going on that would be, I think, for fans, they're really cool to understand what's going on. And we got the Tampa the next week, and obviously his 56 was apexed at 81 feet. And they were talking about, do we get a different shaft to launch it higher? Do we do these things? And Lucas just turned around and says, so what you're saying is you want me to hit it higher? I'll just hit it higher. How about that? So that to me is how we capture the golf fan back. Give them something they've never seen before. Give them an inside track. I mean, who would not want to listen to Jordan Spieth and his caddy every shot? I mean, the thing, you can see it going on. You can't hear them, but they're going over some stuff. Or Bryson DeChambeau and his caddy. Can you imagine talking about the atmospheric pressure and the stuff that they probably talk about? So, I'd said on another show, I say, there's an Einstein quote that says, no problem can be solved from the same level it was created. And I think that's what's happening right now. So I think all of professional golf has got to come up with a different level to solve this problem. And I think winning the golf fan back should be first and foremost the priority.
Again, one of my favorite parts of TGL was the hot mic situations or hot mic segments where you got to listen to these guys discuss their strategy. And again, personality golf, team golf, where, you're not playing against each other. You're playing as a team against another team, but getting to hear them. That's one of the things that I love about when Bryson had Phil Mickelson on, or anytime Phil Mickelson's on YouTube, he's fascinating.
Watch it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's just he's so interesting, and he's so smart about his golf that you can learn so much from it, and it's just so much fun. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Team golf out there is usually the player and the caddy. The caddy, always, my theory on the caddy is, people talk about this and that, and I said, well, just imagine whatever pitcher, Adam Wainwright or Tom Seaver without a good catcher. And I call the caddy the catcher that's helping call the pitches. And that's the team when they're playing individual golf. It's essentially him and the caddy are teaming up to figure out what are we going to do, what pitch we throw in, what are we going to pull here. And it's the one thing is the difference is they can do it and then hit the shot that mirrors what they're trying to do. Most of us can't. But to watch these guys actually tell you where they're going to land the golf ball. Lucas hit a shot, I don't know if you saw on the first day, he shot 66. I think it was 600. He shot players on 18. And the pin was left front. And Lucas hit it probably 25 feet right of there, a little long. And then it, of course, rolls back to, 5 feet. And I asked Tommy, the caddy, I said, he hit his number there? He goes, exactly where he said he was going to hit it. Exactly. And I was like, and it gives you chills. Like, that's what we said. We're going to hit it right there. And he did it. And he goes, and I went, man, it gave me chills. He goes, me too. It's just, but it goes back to how good these guys are, how precise they are with their yardages, how far they know they hit it, the most amazing things they can do. And I wish we could bring it out and show you they're trying to do these things. Now, obviously, it's golf, so they're not pulling it off all the time. But
right.
Incredible. You're trying to hit this shot. Like, this is the shot you're going to hit, and how they go about it, and then they do it. All right. And
then they do it.
So that's what I think we need to do. That's my personal opinion. That's what's
been interesting. That was part of the interesting element of TGL is these guys now playing simulator golf. They're playing indoor golf. So their shots weren't doing exactly what they expected them to. And there were a lot of shots that just were like, how did that happen? You can just see it in their face. Well, you're hitting from a flat lie always. There's no wind to work with. You just got to get the line right and stuff. And the yardage may or may not work some of the times.
It's missing some shots. I think especially wedge shots. When you see a guy hit a wedge shot and it's 4 yards too short or too long, it didn't pick it up right because they don't do that. They don't hit. I mean, they have to miss a golf shot. I mean, they're more in the 2 and 3 feet from 125 yards than 4 or 5 yards. And so you see guys hit a shot that that's out of their league to hit it, that difference, and the distance difference is not there. So, but again, I think the technology will catch up with that. And again, I'm not saying that maybe they did hit flyers, but I just watched some of them. They're too far off.
But as somebody who, as an average golfer, I kind of loved it. It's like, oh, you can screw up too. That's awesome. How do you deal with it? And you could see it in their face. They would hit the shot and they would look at their teammates like, what just happened?
When Lucas did his test match there, when he did his first time in the thing, I got to go with him, and all of it was playing kind of, and then he hit a wedge shot. I forget the number, but it went quite a bit further, and he looked at me and he looked at the guy and he goes, "You hit that?" And he goes, "No, I hit it 120. I'll say 127." He goes, "No, I hit it 127." And it flew 132. That's something wrong. And the guy looked at me and goes, "Is he serious?" I said, No, he's serious. He knows exactly how far he hit it. And all of them do. That's what makes them so great. And they don't need a machine to tell them. They know. I mean, that's what's pretty scary. But I think the technology will improve like in everything else. And you're going to have mistakes. But this is another thing about golf. I tell people, I play golf with people and they hit a bad shot. And I'm like, they think tour players don't hit those because TV never shows you those shots. If you could watch every player play every shot, you would see some pretty god-awful shots. We were talking about the Players' Championship in the 18th hole, how difficult it is, and it is, right? Cam Smith.
Ask Justin Thomas.
Yeah, the kid Cam Smith, the year Cam Smith won that golf tournament, he hit it in the water 3 of the 4 days on that hole.
Wow.
And people don't, and I tell people that, well, no way, he couldn't hit that many bad shots and win. I go, yeah, they can. They do that. They hit bad shots.
Sure.
I think when Tiger won by 15 in the 2000 U.S. Open, I think he made a triple on the second hole, if I'm not mistaken. It happens. I mean, and I think that would help too to see that I don't need to see every great golf shot. I mean, I think people do want to see the best players in the world hit one that just goes sideways.
Absolutely.
And it does. Oh, I don't know if every client has hit a top. Most of them have hit a shank. Most of them, I mean, it's a hard game. I mean, I wish people knew how difficult it was. And so when you see these guys when they are on, it is a magical thing that they can do what they're doing. I mean, and nothing that probably we experience much in our life. But first of all, we never visualize what we're going to do that much. Like they are visualizing the shot they're going to hit.
Right.
Every one of them. So we probably don't do that much. But when we do, how rare it is to pull it off almost exactly how it looked. And most amateurs, I see them do it is when they've got to hit it over a tree or under a tree, and they're only visualizing that part of the shot, which makes them let go of the results. And then they hit this great shot over the trees where they were just trying to get it over the tree, which is kind of part of it, right? There's a lot of things we can do to make this improve this product. And it's not knocking the old product. It just means, man, it's time to move on. Like it's time to move on.
Because you've got a different audience. It's not for everybody, but it could be for a different audience and a younger audience. Great. What do you think let's pretend that this TGL is long-term and it carries itself and continues to grow. What do you think the impact on simulator and indoor golf is going to be in the long run for, like indoor golf leagues, indoor golf venues all over the country? Do you think there's going to be an impact there?
I think so. I mean, I know, in Sun Valley, Idaho, where I spend a lot of the winter, Sun Valley has they have indoor simulators, obviously, for it's snowing out there. Yeah. And they have an indoor simulator league already. My nephew lives out there. He plays on the team, and so, yeah, I think you're going to see more and more of that, especially in climates that's not like this climate where we can play 24/7 almost here. But up in the Northeast, I mean, it's up in the Midwest. And you imagine like Thursday night's golf league, and here we go, and we're going to go play it. It replaced the gin game, probably in clubs
and bowling, and could replace bowling. And that's why I think venues could open up with 6 bowling alleys, 4 simulator screens, a bar, a restaurant, a concert, little like Friday night concerts. Yep. Put in ping pong tables too while you're at it. That's not going to take up space. Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I agree. And you said it very earlier, is golf as a whole is an entertainment package. It is a competition, but it's still entertainment. And I think we lose sight of that some. I saw Patton Gazire, dear friend, he lives here, plays here, had a little rough day, and he punted his putter, And if you've ever played golf, you've either punted a putter or wanted to, right?
Break it over your head.
And just one of the best guys you ever meet. And he came out with an apology. And I was telling somebody, they said, what did you think about that? And I said, well, the only thing he should apologize about is that he probably could have kicked that putter further if he'd have tried. And he didn't need to apologize for that. That is, if you haven't played this game for a living or played period, you're going to do that. And that's personality. Look, I mean, I'm not trying to condone kids punt. Everybody's, kids will now punt putters. Well, they're going to punt them anyhow. You know what? We might as well. But I think that the personalities and being authentic of who you are out there instead of trying to fit a mold, I mean, you're going to see eruptions of anger. You're going to see these things because these guys are playing for their living. People don't realize when they miss putts, it's a lot different than us, even though I think most of the club golfers here react the same way when they miss putts, but this is their lives. So, yeah, I would love to just take the training wheels off these guys and say, listen, this is entertainment. I mean, I even saw Patrick Cantlay get emotional. I mean, and it's fun because this guy, he's a dang good golfer, obviously, and he looks pretty stoic at most of the times, but it was fun to see him kind of crack a smile. And, and remember when Tiger made that putt when he was Kevin Na, when he walked, he got it out of the hole or was reaching in and he copied him on the 17th hole. And when Tiger did it, the laugh that Tiger had, that was real. That was authentic laughter. And that's what this game is. I mean, even though they're under all that stress, I'd like to tell these guys, listen, let it go, man. Be who you are and let's see what you got. Like, it's okay.
I think when you put the highlight reel together of the first season of TGL, you're going to show pictures of Tiger not only screwing up, but laughing so hard he's doubled over. I mean, again, bringing out, and even finding guys like Horschel, like Tom, right? Tom Kim. Guys who have big personalities,
right,
are great for television, right? Oh, yeah. And you look at Cantlay and like, come on, dude, give me something here. I know it's golf, but
that's who they are. I mean, you can't, that's who they are. But somewhere in there is somebody's going to laugh, somebody's going to be mad. I mean, But I think it's gotten to where, in the sense of, they're all trying to fit in this mold of how much time. I think that's why golf is taking so long to play as well. It's like this, and these guys are, they are good enough at golf to play faster. And they all need to understand that this is an entertainment package and those people watching, those fans are their bosses. That's who's paying their salaries. And these corporations that are putting all this money up, they're their bosses. So give them something, spend a little extra time with these companies. I've always said that, I've always kind of been, these players, they play, but, go spend 30 minutes in the Wells Fargo tent, go around and introduce yourself and say, thanks for coming out and be a part of this thing. And, a lot of it doesn't happen anymore. I know the tour tries to do a good job of that, but, I always say these fans that are in your way and talking in your backswing, they're your bosses. They're the ones who give you this opportunity to play golf because if they're not here, you're not playing for a lot of money. I can promise you, right? But again, it's the whole if these guys understand that, look, you're you're more of an entertainer than you are an athlete out there. I mean, if you don't believe it, John Daly, Lee Trevino, I mean,
Bryson DeChambeau.
and again, and Mr. Nicholas was never animated, right? I mean, but he had Sevy. I mean, you know, like I say, it's okay to have a straight man. Somebody can be dull, but I mean, you got to have Sergio losing his mind. I mean, you got to have this happening. And again, Patrick Reed.
You got to have an Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson, right?
Absolutely. And I've always, you know, Patrick Reed, people, oh gosh, I can't believe how many people say negative things. I said, well, you haven't met him. He's a nice kid. He's a nice guy. I mean, but when he's competing, he competes different than other people, but we need him too. I mean, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but he's kind of like a villain. And you know, he could win this Masters as easy as anybody. He's playing good golf again, right? And so people hate this guy, like that guy, and I said, great. Hate him, like him, I don't care.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I've had,
exactly.
Except for Davis Love, I've had most of my clients have people that don't like him and people like him. Everybody like Davis. So, but yeah, we need that. We need more of that. And the only way to really do it is to be able to watch them hit every shot, not just when they hit a great shot, but put that camera on these guys and watch where they hit it. But see, they're not scared to hit a bad shot because they know what to do when that happens. They're not concerned about their short game being able to fix them. I had a client. I said, he says, what's going on with me? And I said, you're hitting too many good golf shots. And he says, well, what's wrong with that? I said, you're not hitting any great ones because you're so protecting hitting bad shots that you're not hitting great ones. I said, the great players, they try to hit the great shot, and when they miss it, they know what to do to save themselves. And they're not mad at the miss. They knew they were taking a chance. So it's those kind of things that you keep. I mean, these guys how many greens do they hit on average? Was it 14, 13? So they're missing 4 and 5 greens around. I mean, as a rule.
Yeah, yeah.
And we think they're perfect. They're not.
Well, listen, bud, I know how busy you are. I know what a hectic week this must have been for you, and you've got one coming up in 2 weeks with the Masters.
Yeah.
And so I truly appreciate you making time to stick a conversation with me here, because beyond just talking about golf, I love talking with you about the business of golf.
Yeah,
that's really what I find the most fascinating. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. And I'm embarrassed to tell you that I'm busy. There are people that work much harder in their lives. I mean, I'll be in Doral next week working, and then I'll be in Augusta working, and then I'll be in Hilton Head working. And people, I don't want anybody to think that I'm illusion that I'm not having the best time of my life. I have to, like, I'm trying a little bit so they don't think I'm not doing anything. But yeah, so it's busy, but man, it's a fun busy. This is the best time of the year. And baseball starts today. Final Four is coming up. I mean, this is the kickoff to fun for me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome, bud. Well, Mac, I truly appreciate your time and your friendship, and maybe we'll bump into each other in Atlanta or at Augusta when I get to have my inaugural first time going, and maybe my only time, but I get to check it off the list. I'm going to the Masters.
What a place! I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I see every golf course in the world, but everybody in our business, the players, the teachers, the trainers, the Masters is a big week. I mean, it is. I mean, there's no one not giddy that week. I mean, they let us on the grounds. You know, they allow me to be, to be a part of it. And, there's so many people that's never even got to go. I think this is my 33rd Masters or something.
Wow.
And, and it feels like the first one. I mean, when you get that little piece of paper that invites you to come, it's a pretty cool day. It really is. So I don't want anybody to think I'm killing myself. It's fun.